If you are on the keto or carnivore diet and you're struggling with a weight loss plateau, then you'll want to keep watching. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kevin and this is Alice. Together we've lost over 60 pounds together on the keto and carnivore diet. I personally lean more carnivore and Alice leans a little more keto. So together we are the keto carnivore couple. Now we do have a free giveaway in this video for anyone looking to break through their plateau, so make sure to keep watching. Before we get into it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on your notification bell.
Now, like many of you, we have also experienced plateaus on our journey, and we know that it can be extremely frustrating, especially when you've seen great results up to that point. When you're stuck on a plateau, you're just wondering why the scale isn't moving and what you can do to change things up. We understand your pain. After losing all this weight together and trying many things throughout the years, we found that there are just some things that work and some things that don't work. It's almost like an experimentation process where you have to figure out what techniques work for you for weight loss and which ones don't. Now, here are some of the tips and things that we've tried that have worked out for us that you may want to consider.
Tip number 1, evaluate how much food you are actually eating. On our channel, we do not promote traditional calorie counting or low calorie restriction, but it is still possible to overdo eating. If you are trying to elevate your carnivore cooking skills, you might end up consuming very large calorie meals or eating too many high calorie meals throughout the day. You might also be calculating the amount of meat you're eating incorrectly. Now, there are two schools of thought when it comes to fat loss. There is the traditional calorie in and calorie out model, which is based on the idea that all calories are created equal and the body will burn fat based on a formula of calorie intake minus calorie expenditure. And there's a newer school of thought based on managing your blood sugar levels and insulin response. We personally do not believe that all calories are created equal, but total food volume does matter. If you are over-consuming the total amount of energy that your body needs, your body will still burn dietary fat, not body fat. That does not mean we should be counting calories and treating our bodies like mathematical formulas, but it is something to be mindful of. Another common way of thinking on the keto or carnivore diet is that you need to eat fat to burn fat. Now, this is a great thought and we generally agree with it. We shouldn't be afraid of unprocessed animal-based fat, but like anything in life, it can be overdone. Filling up with fat, prioritizing protein, and keeping carbs as low as possible is true. Fat has the benefit of keeping you fuller longer, and you'll have more sustainable energy. And eating meat is healthier than eating rice and bread. However, if you are already fat adapted and you're eating excessive dietary fat, your body will have no reason to pull from your stored body fat for energy. There is still a balancing act required on this diet.
Tip number 2 is to evaluate what types of meat you are eating. Now, weight loss isn't just about food quantity, it's also about food quality and type. If you are struggling with your plateau, you may want to look at the specific types of protein and cuts of meat that you are buying at the grocery store. Some cuts are more optimal for fat loss than others. Eating too much of certain types of meat can result in too much gluconeogenesis, which is also known as the conversion of protein to glucose, which can result in consistently elevated blood sugar levels. Now, plateaus can be extremely frustrating, but they happen to everyone at some point of their weight loss journey. Maybe you have already tried some of these changes, but it's just not working, or you're noticing that you're even gaining some weight. We hope that you find the tips in this video helpful, but it is very hard to give cookie cutter solutions to weight loss. Plateaus are very situation dependent and there is no one size fits all solution. Kevin and I are actually offering 5 lucky viewers a free 30-minute Break the Plateau audit. What we'll do is, if you are selected, we will hop on a call with you, work with you one-on-one, and review your current meal and diet plan. After hearing about your situation, we'll give you direct suggestions on how you can break through your plateau and get back to seeing progress again on your diet.
We don't want anyone to feel like they're working so hard to stick to this diet, maybe exercising, fasting, and still not getting any results. All you have to do is fill out a quick questionnaire that just takes a few minutes. We will leave a link to the questionnaire down in the description below. If you have been selected, we will contact you, confirm availability, and book a Zoom call to break the plateau.
And because we are offering this completely for free, we do have limited spots available. We are only selecting 5 lucky people from the responses on a first come, first serve basis. So do not wait and fill out the survey as soon as possible. Tip number 3 is to evaluate your hunger signals. Understanding whether your hunger is emotional or physical is a huge part of weight loss. Emotional hunger usually starts with a thought, like I feel hungry. Then that thought travels throughout your body. Some other common cues are, it's 12 p.m., I'm hungry, or it's 6 p.m., I'm hungry. Emotional eating can also be triggered by external temptations like, oh, that cheesecake looks good, now I'm hungry. It's the thought created by your mind that's making you hungry. Basically, your brain is telling your body that it's hungry, but you don't have a physical sensation of hunger in your stomach. Another form of emotional eating is when you turn to food for pleasure or to avoid a problem or uncomfortable emotion. This process can happen very quickly and turn your mind into a sharp craving. Now, when you eat out of emotional hunger, it's very easy to overeat, and it's very likely that you will still be unsatisfied after eating because no amount of food will ever satisfy you. Physical hunger, on the other hand, starts in the body and then moves to the brain. It usually happens more gradually than emotional hunger. Now, all you have to do is be aware of the differences between the two and practice labeling them. Instead of reacting right away when you think you are hungry, whether it's emotional or physical, just take a pause for even 5 or 10 minutes and really re-evaluate whether you are really hungry and need to eat or not.
Tip number 4. Assess how much dairy you're eating. The human body processes dairy like sugar. The main carbohydrate in dairy is lactose, which the body breaks down with a digestive enzyme called lactase. Even though dairy can be high fat, consuming dairy can still trigger an insulin response in your body greater than other fat sources. A lot of carnivore recipes contain cheese and cream cheese. The richness makes your dishes very tasty, but are also very high calorie. If you are trying to break through a plateau and you're eating dairy, you may want to assess how much you are consuming in your diet.
Tip number 5 is exercise. Now, just to be clear, you cannot out-exercise a bad diet. Weight loss happens in the kitchen. 90% of weight loss has to do with food. If you are trying to build muscle or build a body or have specific parts of your body look a certain way, then exercise does matter a little bit more. But for pure fat loss, it is really just all food. But sometimes just a physical shock to the body is what we need to get past a plateau. Exercise is still a great thing to incorporate into your life to speed up fat loss. Remember, how you do something is how you do everything, and just committing to exercise, proving to yourself that you have the discipline, and getting the endorphins from your workout really help you build your own self-respect. And that sense of commitment and self-esteem that you gain from exercise can then help you make good food choices and stick with your diet. It's kind of like a snowball effect or multiplier effect, even though a lot of it is psychological. The more disciplined you are with exercise, the more disciplined you are likely to be when it comes to food. Now, it's very easy to get caught up in social media, see what other people are doing, and think that you have to do all these crazy workouts or go to the gym for 4 to 5 hours a day, deadlift 500 pounds. But just remember, that isn't always the case.
Tip number 6 is fasting. Fasting is a very effective way to lose weight and fat, but there are so many different ways to go about it. This fasting tip is very person specific, but here are some questions you may want to consider. Are you currently fasting? How much are you fasting? What are your fasting windows like? Are you fasting too much and hurting your metabolism? Or are you fasting too little and still struggling with high blood sugar and insulin levels? If you are snacking constantly and eating too many meals throughout the day, your body will not go into fat burning mode, especially if you have insulin resistance.
Tip number 7 is do not overcomplicate this lifestyle. Now, the goal of carnivore or a meat-based diet is to eat meat only. It is meant to be a very simple way of eating and as natural as possible. The goal is to stick to minimal ingredient foods. One common issue that we start to see is that people start to seek alternatives, which results in overindulgence. It's okay to have cream cheese soufflés and carnivore bread once in a while, but turning your kitchen into an experimentation zone and eating all day long starts to defeat the purpose of the diet. Now, it's completely normal to be interested in alternatives, especially if you are new to the diet. It does take time to retrain your brain to not eat the standard American way, but this is something to be conscious of. And if you find yourself deviating or craving carnivore bread all the time, ask yourself whether you are trying to feed an underlying carb or sugar addiction that's still there. One thing that Kevin and I can teach you on these free calls that we're offering is how to use these alternatives as a tool so that you can use them when you need them, but eventually not need them anymore.
Tip number 8, other factors outside of food. Because fat loss isn't a single issue that can be pinpointed down to a single problem, there could be other internal or external factors that could impact your progress. Now, these factors are all things that Alice and I have experienced that have impacted our weight loss progress. And if they relate to you, we can definitely help you pinpoint them and combat them to break through your plateau. Here are some examples: stress, sleep, hydration, electrolyte imbalance, and water retention.
If you are still struggling with getting through your plateau and would like more one-on-one help from Kevin and I, fill out the questionnaire in the description below. Again, it's completely free and there are limited spots available. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you guys next time.